Hello, nerdfighters. I'm coming to you from the library today, because we're better to talk about books. Today's video comes to you in 3 parts. Part 1, Christmas gifts. Part 2, nerdfighter conversion. And Part 3, the project for awesome. I'm still not very good at filming in public, so I'll vlog from here instead. So last year I got this idea for Christmas shopping. See, when I go Christmas shopping for my family, I almost always get them all books, because we're a book kind of family. And it occurred to me last year as I was book shopping, you know what I should do? I should select just a random selection of books and give them to the family as a whole and have us all read them. And so that's what I did. There are 5 people in my family, so I got 5 books that I had never read and that I was sure my family had never read. Not only are these books that I haven't read, but with one exception, they were also books that I had never heard of. And I presented them all to the whole family, and we read them over the course of the next year. I actually haven't finished reading all 5 of them yet. So I went to the library today to do a little bit of pre-book shopping, and I saw some books. I'm not going to say what my ideas are yet because members of my family watch this vlog. There's also a second part to my book giving idea this year, which I will expand upon in Part 3. Part 2, nerdfighter conversion. I live in an area that has a dearth of nerdfighters. I know of 3 nerdfighters living in my immediate area, and they all live in my house. But I'm sure that there are, in this area, nerdfighters who are not aware that they are nerdfighters. And so, completely stealing this idea from Christina I Talk to Snakes from last year's Project for Awesome, I decided to do a little bit of nerdfighter conversion at our public library.
Even though tonight I've got a date with my bookshelf, I'd much rather touch and hug you and nothing else. Won't you be a nerdfighter like me? Won't you stay up all night on Skype with me? We could go on a date to the library.
So if you're an Ashland area nerdfighter and you found one of my notes, hi! Welcome to Nerdfighteria. Part 3, the Project for Awesome. I stole the notes and books idea from Christina, so it seems only fitting that I also steal her charity. The charity I'm going to promote for the Project for Awesome is First Book. First Book is an organization that gives books to children in need. I really do think that most children want to learn how to read, and once they learn how to read, they want to read more. And I think that money should not be an issue for whether or not a child has books to read. This is also the second part of my book gift giving idea for Christmas. I know, family members watch this vlog, but I figure I really don't mind giving them this part of their gift early. So once I go shopping for those 5 books, however much money I spend, I will donate that much money to First Book. So if you're looking for some alternative giving ideas this year and you would like to steal my idea, please feel free. And I hope that you will go to First Book and donate some money, give them some support. I think as nerdfighters, we all know the importance of reading and the importance of books and the importance of good stories and good vessels of knowledge. And I think it's important for all children, no matter what their economic status, to have that. And I would also encourage you to comment on this video and on other videos throughout the day. Because I vlog on 2.5 channels on YouTube, I'm supporting a charity for each channel. To see the charity that I promoted on my vlog driver video, go right here. And to see the charity that I promoted on my Shiny Happy Vloggy People video, go right here. There's a car next to me. The lady's looking at me funny. She's apparently never seen somebody talking to their camera when they're sitting in their car. And so enjoy the rest of your Project for Awesome, Nerdfighters for the win, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I hope you're somewhere warm and white, like the flowers in your car, that you've escaped this labyrinth of suffering. Wherever you are, I got a piece of you tucked away deep inside my mind. Memories of your poetry and drinking your cheap wine. Thomas Edison's last words were, "It's very beautiful over there." I don't know where there is, but I believe it's somewhere, and I hope it's beautiful like you. You're beautiful. I never really knew you at all. Your green eyes still shine with life in my memory. Your smell of grass, vanilla, and smoke are still alive in me. I found a grave, perhaps, in blue citrus and the smoking hole you're in was my beginning with the kiss that I stole. Thomas Edison's last words were, "It's very beautiful over there." I don't know where there is, but I believe it's somewhere, and I hope it's beautiful like you. You're beautiful. I never really knew you at all. You were the storm that came and went like lightning. You struck me by surprise with the life I thought you might bring. Someday I'll forget your boozy breath. I can taste still. We'll always have pressed pranks and Strawberry Hill. Thomas Edison's last words were, "It's very beautiful over there." I don't know where there is, but I believe it's somewhere, and I hope it's beautiful like you. You're beautiful, and I'm still looking for you, Alaska. Edward and Edwina Spoon Hands have a pretty hard time of it. They can hardly eat cereal and they can only type about 3 words a minute, but they both agree it's not as bad as it could be. So they clack their big old fingers and they sing a little song for you and me. Edward and Edwina Spoon Hands have a pretty hard time of it. They can hardly eat cereal and they can only type about 3 words a minute, but they both agree it's not as bad as it could be. So they clack their big old fingers and they sing a little song for you and me. Edward and Edwina Spoon Hands have a pretty hard time of it. They can hardly eat cereal and they can only type about 3 words a minute, but they both agree it's not as bad as it could be. So they clack their big old fingers and they sing a little song for you and me. Edward and Edwina Spoon Hands have a pretty hard time of it. They can hardly eat cereal and they can only type about 3 words a minute, but they both agree it's not as bad as it could be. So they clack their big old fingers and they sing a little song for you and me. Edward and Edwina Spoon Hands have a pretty hard time of it. They can hardly eat cereal and they can only type about 3 words a minute, but they both agree it's not as bad as it could be. So they clack their big old fingers and they sing a little song for you